Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone in the world watching this incredible show called the Ask Julius Show. This is Angel Rebo from Dallas, Texas, in the United States of America. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every single Thursday or Sunday, as today, we tend to be here doing amazing things. And this show today is going to be even more amazing, and I will let you know why that's the case. It's a pleasure to have you here. This is Expansion Network, accelerating the consciousness of humanity. And we have Kasey Wallace with us again. Why? Because she's channeling Julius and its group of entities. Hi, Kasey. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So excited to be here and missed everybody last weekend. Had an extraordinary weekend down in Siesta Beach in Florida for our retreat. But I did miss you guys. Come Sunday night, even as the retreat was winding down, Sue, our production manager, Sue and I were looking at each other kind of laughing, going, maybe we should call Angel and get going, right? Maybe we ought to just shoot a show sitting right out here on the water, with everybody. So it's great to be back, fully rejuvenated, all charged up and ready to go for tonight's show.
Absolutely. Super ready to go. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. This is the Ask Julius Show. And why missing each other so much? Because we have been 82 weeks nonstop. It's been an exception when we haven't been with you 1 week. 82. My God, we're going to get to the 100. That means 2 years. That's incredible. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here with us again. And again, as you remember, we were for a couple of months announcing this incredible retreat that happened last weekend in Siesta Beach. That's the northwest coast of Florida. An incredible place, and incredible place to go there even without retreat, as probably Kasey is going to be explaining later on today. Let me actually show already some of the comments that our audience is showing here, is sharing with us. Hey, hi, Kasey, Julius, Angel, and everyone else. So good to be back. Hope the retreat went well. Kasey, much love, Amanda. Amanda is one of those that is always with us. Karen Tackett. Hello, everyone. Hello, Karen. And also we have Swift Sage, Julius. Hold on. This is a question. Let's wait for the questions, because as you know, we have a lot of questions. And we have Michelle Cruz here as well saying, hi, Angel, Kasey, and Julius. So great to see you all. And also Greg and Nyman. Hello, Angel, Kasey, and Julius. Absolutely. I heard incredible things about you on the beach. But what happens on the beach in Siesta Beach stays in Siesta Beach. My apologies. I'm going to move the camera a little bit because I just realized that the energy is so high today that actually, even though this is a table that doesn't move, the camera is moving. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Great to have you here, obviously, Greg, as usual. And we have Deline as well. Hey, hi, everyone. A lovely Andreline with a nice, lovely green heart. Hi, lovely Andreline. And also Judy McDonald. Love to Julius, Kasey, and all from Australia. We have lots of friends in Australia. And as Greg is saying, the retreat was epic, off the charts. Absolutely. I'm sure it was, because when I started talking with Kasey just a few minutes ago, she was all about the energy and the experiences that had happened over that weekend, the past weekend. All right, so let's go. Let's get into our questions today. We have also some offline questions. Let's start. Are you ready, Kasey?
Always ready. We are always ready.
Okay, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Let's go for this question that comes from, excuse me, Swift Sage. Julius, it seems like we get very interested in or really care about quickly involves judgments. Is that a key to no judgment then? To not invest feelings or form attachments?
It is a very good statement that you make, Master. But what we will tell you is this: you can have very passionate interest in all that is going on without judging it. That's what people don't understand. So, judgment is about feeling that whatever the subject is either good or bad or right or wrong. That's a judgment. You can accept the truth of information, okay, and you're not judging it. So that is not about disengagement. You're not supposed to disengage. You are supposed to engage. Your soul is the emotional processor of thought. Do not cut your emotions off. Do not detach from what is going on. What you want to detach from is needing anything, needing a person, needing a situation to be a certain way, needing anything outside of you other than your own sovereign self. So attachments are about needs. Attachments are about needs, false needs, especially false needs. So that's the art of detachment. But being very, very deeply involved in everything that you have created here on the third dimensional realm, Master, is all about you knowing yourself as source through those situations, those interactions, and the things that are going on, to demonstrate your consciousness, know your consciousness through all of those actions. So, no, we wouldn't tell you to pull away and not be involved, but you have to not judge what you're involved with. So, we always love to give this example, okay? Because many people don't even understand the deciphering of the process of what judgment is. Speaking a truth is true, and it can be spoken without judgment. For instance, if somebody is a thief, that is a truth. They steal things, they're involved with fraud, they lie. So it's perfectly okay to say someone is a fraud, someone is a thief, someone is a liar. Those are truths. If you judge those things as being bad things, now you're judging a truth. But it is perfectly fine to speak a truth and not get caught up in judging what you speak of, what you speak of. What you acknowledge, what you are aware of as truths, help you navigate your decisions and what energies you choose to interact with. That is just respecting your frequency and your sovereign self. But that doesn't mean you're judging all other frequencies. It simply means that you are in refined awareness of the nuances that work with your frequency to the highest level of acceleration and going that direction. Judging is the way something feels, Master. So judgment feels like something inside of you. It feels like judgment. And that's what you get to refine, is understanding when you're judging. So it's not even about speaking words. It's the way you feel about somebody. So you can say, yeah, that person's a thief. And inside you're feeling that that is a bad person because they're a thief. Then you are judging when you say that person's a thief. But if you just simply acknowledge, yeah, that person's a thief, so I don't hang out with them and I don't want to do business with them, you can honestly be in a space of just speaking truth without a judgment attached to it. It is a refinement process. It is the practice of consciousness and your conscious journey. And it is the deciphering component between low frequency and high frequency. And so if you perceive that for you to be detached, then you could practice it that way. But we are telling you, Master, you did not come to an interactive holographic realm that you created to stay away from things. You came to engage fully without attachment, which is need, and without judging everything that you have created.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question. It's going to be an offline question. We have a few offline questions that were still not answered. And here we come. The question comes from Amy N77. Can entities enter your mind body to change your thinking, behavior, emotions, and moods? Can these be stopped?
Yes, they can. They can influence you greatly, especially when you are in an unaware state or your soul is not in full alignment. So then you're in a very, very vulnerable state. Also, when you are low frequency, they cannot do that when you're resonating in high frequency. It's the low frequency states of fear and judgment, ironically, beautifully stated by the other person we just engaged with. Judgment puts you in a very vulnerable, low frequency state. So yes, they absolutely can. Absolutely can. It's when you are vulnerable energetically.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next questions. Let me make sure. Bless you. All right. Next question comes from Sony Dean. How come we, the women, lost power and only men became emperors, pharaohs, kings, etc.? How do we balance the power?
So that was just a rulership and a dictatorship. So basically, what happens, Master, was this. Originally, or upon origins, there wasn't ruling at all on the Earthship. When everybody had their intuitive natures engaged, nobody was in need. Everyone knew themselves as source, and there wasn't any form of rulership. There literally was collaboration and cooperation. As we all in physical form started to give in to the holographic projection and believe that it is real, we started to slide in our energy frequency into fear. When that took place, we started to reincarnate, forgetting that we are source and also separating ourselves. So survival instincts kicked in, and the need to be protected, the need to feel safe started to set in. So women initially were the rulers. So the feminine energy of compassion and empathy generally organized, not ruled, but organized and protected large groups of people in wonderful collaboration with other large groups of people. They were the intuitive ones, they were the nurturing ones, and males were used as physical labor for sexual reproduction, for building things, hunting things, and protecting the family. And they were treated very well. The women treated them very well with respect, and vice versa. But the order of this started to diminish the attraction and the usefulness of weak and small men. So the large men, the strong men, the outgoing men were preferred, and the smaller, weaker men were getting basically not paid attention to. So they started talking about, they created a being that was nefarious, hence the devil theory started. And they started talking about legends and theories about an invisible devil or an invisible negative energy that was out there, that was out to destroy the women and the children. And only the men had the ability to detect such evil nature. The women were too empathetic and too compassionate to see the deceit and the deceivers of the devil. So the men became important and useful. So this gave a very useful tool for the small and weak men. That started to escalate to where only the men were valuable and needed to rule. And so patriarchal ruling took over from matriarchal ruling, because everybody bought into those stories. So that's how that switched. And that's really basically where religion got launched, because they had to come up with storyline between good and evil, and that the men protected the women and the children from the evil forces. So that's where all of that started.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. And again, everybody here, thank you for being here. We're thrilled that you joined us so quickly. People definitely, our audience definitely wanted to be with us today. They missed us big time, the same that we do. And let me go to the next question that actually was an in-person question. I think that we didn't ask it the last day. Please, the production team, if I already asked it, remind me. But anyway, let's ask it anyway. If you have, it comes from Kat. If you have a purpose in this lifetime that you just know you can't give up on, but you continue to sabotage yourself because of fear of getting too busy and losing the quiet life you've grown to love, how do you resolve this conundrum? That's a great question.
So that's just a programming master of limitation. So first of all, to acknowledge that truth, that does not come from your soul. Your soul is an efficient multitasker. No question about it. That's all about the altered ego sabotaging you. So first of all, acknowledging that that is true will help you disconnect from that program running. There's also wonderful ways for you to calm the altered ego mind by drafting out business plans for yourself, so that you know that you, quote unquote, creatively control your schedule, everything that is going to come up for you. Your business plan comes up with teams and production teams and employees to keep that weight off of you. So if you go into whatever you're very passionate about and start to legitimize it in a three-dimensional form, as in a business format and a presentation format, starting to come up with a business plan, that can help you to curb the altered ego mind and stay away from fear of overload. And also to be able to tell yourself this: won't it be so wonderful? Won't it be so magnificent? Won't it be so high vibration? Won't it be so expansive when my biggest problem is I'm so busy and I'm making so much money? Won't that be the day? Won't that be the day? And flip the narrative for you, Master. Flip the narrative. Believe us, you can always pull away from what you are doing. Usually people find it difficult to build a business. So let yourself rewrite that script in your head and tell yourself this is ridiculous for me to be afraid of anything that I have control over, that I am creating. It's an altered ego program. I denounce that program, and I very much look forward to being that busy, and that productive, and let it go.
All right. Thank you. Let's continue the show. Drink some beautiful, lovely, delicious tea in that amazing mug. It's a beautiful mug, by the way, as usual. Look at that.
Seashells. I wonder where I got that.
Exactly. All right. So next question comes from Sony as well. It's an offline question, and the question is: I just heard the answer about the LeBron, and I am curious about the purpose. What is the purpose of this being even to exist? What kind of influence they want him to have? Is this some kind of an dot? I guess he must have asked a question live about LeBron James, and I guess this is a follow-up question.
There's many celebrities and public figures that are they're puppets. They've been switched out. They've been cloned. All kinds of things are going on. And ultimately, the idea behind a lot of it is disclosure. to let people get a good look and start to recognize themselves a lot of what is going on, starting to see the blatant activity and the blatant perspective of a lot of these people that they've come, to worship, and they've keyed out certain peoples. Usually the ones that are the most influential and the most famous have been keyed out. So there's a huge plan going on that was wrapped around disclosing what has been going on behind the scenes, quote unquote, behind the scenes. It's been a long plan of testing the waters about how many people are awake. We're going to go as far as telling you that's the reason they played the whole election thing out the way they did. For the government, US government corporation was bankrupt during the Biden administration. It went bankrupt. So there is no United States government according to the corporation. It's bankrupt. But what they've been trying to do is they've been trying to gauge how many people are awake so they can drop the bomb on a lot of this and what's coming forward. And that's yet to play itself out. So they've got to gauge how many people are awake. They can't just predict that. So by holding things like elections and popularity things, they can measure, who's following what and what everybody's attitude and perception is. That's not the things that you're going to see, because anything that you're seeing usually through the public eye is grossly distorted and distracted. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Always has to do with money, control, and disclosure. And that's a lot of what all of these celebrities and these key figures are partaking in.
Absolutely. You bet. Thank you so much. This is show number 82 of the Ask Julius Show. The Ask Julius Show. Every single week, we have our audience, both online and offline, asking questions to Julius and his group of entities that is being channeled by Kasey Wallace every single week. It's on Sundays this week. Typically it's on Thursdays, but we have been here for 82 weeks. 82 weeks. Amazing. 82 shows. Next week, the 83rd. Now let's continue with offline questions. Let me see. Actually, let me just share this comment from Robin. Robin Nazim is saying, is it going to be smooth sailing for Trump to take office? And will disclosure happen around aliens?
No, disclosure around aliens has been going on for quite a long time, Master. Quite a long time. Okay. It's really nothing new. It just depends on what you're looking at and what you're listening to. And we don't understand your term about smooth sailing. That's your perception as far as what is smooth and what is rough. What we can tell you is it's going to be an extraordinary next 12 months. That's what we will tell you. And what's amazing and very, very, very wonderful is it's going to be positive for almost everybody, meaning the general public, even the people who have been programmed to be afraid of this man are going to be supported in ways to hopefully be able to drop their fear and thrive in their life. So he's taking down the very, very dark, dangerous energies and will be disclosing a lot of the things that these certain people, a percentage of the population has been supporting because they've been so deeply programmed. And there's nothing for them to be afraid of, because everything that they believe that this man has been bad on is just not true. So that's good news, because we want everybody to be supported and loved. That's the way transitions work. That's the way expansion works. So that's all good. Even though they may be running and hiding and shuddering right now, it's going to be okay, because their finances are going to thrive. The economy is going to thrive. Their health is going to thrive. There's going to be all kinds of amazing things. So if you consider that to be smooth sailing, then that's what we can tell you about that. But until everything is disclosed and the Republic is revealed and Nasara Jasara kick in and the RV takes place and the med beds are released and all the other things, the ability to go interdimensionally, the ability to cross timelines with just a thought, the ability to go on and off the planet, the ability to go inward, in and out of the planet freely and easily. When your brains are fully activated, that's when things get smooth. That's our definition of when things will get smooth. So according to your definition, Master, we're not sure how to answer that question to support your perception, but we love you.
Thank you, Robin, for the question. Thank you, Julius, for the answer. Let's go to the next question from Sony as well, this time live. Julius, is the victory of Trump is also a victory for us? Who won what? Why some other channels, quote unquote channels, say Trump was the wrong satanic guy? Thank you.
Well, we can't speak for other channels, Master. You'd have to speak to them about that. We can never speak for another being, okay? This is a script that is playing itself out. That's what we will tell you. We told you months ago, don't be afraid of the election. It's going to be okay. And so just keep going. Just relax. Just relax. And watch and listen to the people that you may discover have not been of the highest frequency that you thought were. Pay attention. There are deceivers in every arena, the spiritual arena, the healing arena, the religious arena, the governmental arena, the sports arena, the medical arena, the educational. Pay attention. Pay attention. Okay? There are deceivers everywhere, everywhere. And if they are really popular, they probably have signed a very interesting contract to make them that popular, especially when their messages are limited. So it's a great time, Masters, for your deciphering and for your magnificence and for your abilities to see.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And it's almost have the 82nd show of the Ask Julius Show. And as you guys know, what do we do every time that we are halfway through the show? What we do is we actually talk about a specific program. And this week is a program called Brain Activation. And to give you more details here, it is, apparently for some reason, although we added a wonderful picture. Okay, let me do something here because for some reason. So when I show this, hopefully we will see the let me go. Sorry about that. Apparently there's some issues here. Let me go to the URL where we can talk about this wonderful activation, brain activation for the pineal and pituitary glands. Look at that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Is there a reason why you actually chose this specific, program right after the retreat?
Yeah. So this is so much fun because, excuse me, I'm still getting over a little bit of a hacky from a cough. It's coming. It's working its way out. It's coming out. When we have retreats, Angel, as you know, or anybody who has taken part in a retreat, there are some very specific things that we do in retreats that we don't do for the general public, for obvious reasons. But one of the things that we do in the retreats is a brain activation process. And over the years, it has evolved and it's gotten bigger and broader. And anybody who's had the brain activation done, they love it. They love it. And anybody who's ever had it done multiple times loves it because in Julius style, it's always a little different. So it's one of the processes, obviously, that comes out of the retreat. And we decided to give everybody the opportunity to experience it. But this one is even going to be different than what we had at the retreat this last time. So we're going to be focusing on the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So when somebody undergoes trauma lies in a space in the midbrain. It's a portion of the midbrain. And when trauma occurs, this portion of the brain grows and becomes over exaggerated, causes people to live very protected and very much in survival instinct mode once they've been traumatized. That influences literally the space and the ability for the pituitary gland to grow and expand efficiently. The pituitary gland and the pineal gland communicate with each other almost instantaneously when it comes to enlightenment, when it comes to your conscious journey and your pathway of connectedness for everything. Everybody has been through trauma. Everybody has been through trauma. One of the most traumatic experiences that you experience immediately is through birth, where you come into this physical life, usually in a traumatic manner, and then you are initiated into an existence and a life where your coma is reinforced or your amnesia is reinforced. So when you enter into this earthship, before you're touched, you have memory of all that you are, but you are immediately consumed with fear. We don't need to talk about all the medical procedures that create that. So everybody has trauma. How much trauma gets stacked on you in your life depends on your life. But your in midbrain area grows and grows and grows and grows, literally stifles the pituitary gland, which disconnects the communication between the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So we're going to hit you up with all kinds of quantum energy during this energy brain process. It's going to be about 30 minutes long. If you're interested, jump on board, because we probably won't duplicate it again. Nothing ever gets exactly duplicated by Julius when it comes to the brain activation. We get things that are pretty similar, but this is going to be a pretty intense one. So if you are interested in helping, number one, to reduce the portion of your brain that has been overly activated through trauma and fear, and get it a little bit more where it belongs and be able to blow up energetically the pituitary gland, helping it to be aligned with the pineal gland, come and join us. It's always, always very intense when you have an activation with Julius and our team. We're doing that this week. So if you are interested, climb on it. It's going to be through Zoom. It's going to be a group activation. It'll be in the evening time, Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be unbelievable. Come get your brains expanded and awakened. We tell everybody, if you're interested in doing this process, you'll get the details on it. We recommend that you are going to be lying down, finding yourself in a comfortable space. It is something that most people coming out of this experience are amazed at what they can actually feel in their head take place during these activations. So coming out of the retreat, we're like, let's throw something from the retreat at everybody. So we wanted to do that. But of course, we're always going to make it extra special for all of you. And so join us, right? Get everybody all ready. It's been a very traumatic year, Angel, for a lot of people, myself included. It's been an extraordinary year of transformation and trauma for a lot of people. So let's get it handled. Let's continue to transform ourselves into that phoenix rising from these experiences, right? We're going into an extraordinary, quote unquote, time this year. Julius has said that this has been the year of difficulty and challenge, and this next year is going to be a year of joy for all of us. So let's get our brains there, shall we? And it always, of course, transfers into more abundant manifestation in all areas in your life as well.
Wonderful. And do remember, throughout the entire show, you will see at the top left corner of your screen, you see the QR code. Feel free to scan it with your cell phone. Just, point your camera to that QR code and you will be taken to the page I was just sharing to know more. It's going to be this upcoming Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, that this is going to happen. Reach out to our production team. Reach out to our production team, which is the email support@channelingjulius.com. Support@channelingjulius.com. And our production team will help you sign up for this incredible activation of the pineal and pituitary glands. Thank you so much for making this possible. This is definitely going to be an incredible experience. And also, let me ask you something, because again, there's a lot of curiosity of our audience. And by the way, thank you so much for keeping, keep yourselves so engaged with this show, and keep coming. Thank you so much for all of you that came here, although we had been a couple of weeks without being with you. So thank you so much. And the question is, what happened? Can you share with the audience a few things that happened that were not like predicted, that you did not expect that happen? Things that really blown the people that joined you at Siesta Beach away, that were not scheduled.
So I've never been to Siesta Beach. It was through the recommendation, honestly, of my dear friend, Gabrielle Spencer, who's also an amazing practitioner. And Gabrielle and I are very good friends and just chitter chattering. And Gabrielle lives in Florida. And as we talked about this beach, now I didn't know what to expect from this beach. Okay. I didn't know if it was kind of a rocky beach. We'd heard it was this crystal beach, right? This beach was 99.9% quartz crystal. And it was like walking on flour. It was so powdery and so soft. And Angel, it stays cool in the sun. Warm water, cool sand. Unbelievable. I was actually surprised at how big the beach is. It's about 4 to 5 miles long. So we walked to that beach. The energy, the rejuvenating nature of the beach is crazy. It was crazy. We went out for meditation in the morning. Then we walked the beach in the late afternoon and nighttime in the moonlight. Oh my God. I was exhausted on the third night. Everybody wanted to go out on the beach again. They went for a walk and I just kind of sat in the sand. Greg Nyman, who's on here with us all the time, he had come to the retreat. He's sitting there with me. By the time everybody got back from the walk, I was so jacked up with energy. I'm like, let's go to dinner. Let's go do something. This was unbelievable to have this leveled up energy frequency wise. Like you were saying, Angel, to be by the beach is already this extraordinary experience. I've said all year, you need to heal by the beach. Let's go heal by a beach. Let's go heal by a beach. And it did not disappoint. The crowd that we had, of course, was amazing. We live streamed it for the first time for some people online. Thank you to all of them for being our experimentation this time around so that we could extend that to other people. And of course, that even broadened the energy as well. So everybody was having this wonderful interactiveness with these people around the world that couldn't physically be present. We did more energy processes than I've ever done at a retreat. We banged out about 10 sessions in a 3-day process. I've never pumped out that much energy work. Everybody was online. Of course, the teachings from Julius were off the chart. Lots and lots of aha moments. But I still want to say, and I can't speak for other people, but I certainly can speak of what I saw, is the community between the guests that were there and the ability for them to feel safe in each other's company and the relatability. These are people from different parts of the world, right? And to be able to come together and feel that support and that community in probably one of the most important things you can be doing in your existence here, which is working on your conscious journey together. It was amazing. Off the charts. We got to extend our stay. My son was with us, not during the retreat, but in different areas. What can I say? What a way to wind the year down after, for my own personal life, I've had a crazy year, to say the least. For me, Probably is the same way for a lot of you out there. What a way to wind it down. So thanks to everybody who was there, and thanks to all of you, even though you couldn't be there. We got such positive feedback from all of you about sending love and wishing you were there. And someday you're going to be able to get to these things, to all of the things that you want to do. And sending just so much love to all of you. It could not have been a better experience. It was truly wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you guys do. Such an amazing and expansive space. Absolutely every single day we are so focused on accelerating the consciousness of humanity every single day. And this show is not an exception. This is the 82nd Ask Julius show. Our audience keeps on asking questions, and we have more and more and more and more questions every single day. I'm going to ask another question here from, so instead of going to this question, let me ask an offline question that actually comes from Lois, okay? And this question is the following one. Okay, I'm not going to use the word, because if I use the word, we're going to be banned for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks. So I'm not going to mention the word. Okay, so Lois is the human being asking the question. Hi there, Angel. I only ever listen to the Ask Julius show on replay. You are more than welcome to join us one day. But would you please like to submit a question for Julius, if I may? Absolutely. Are any of the childhood all right, necessary and safe for our children?
None of them are necessary and none of them are safe. That's what we will say. Okay. The jibby jabs that you're speaking of, none of them are necessary. Not even the vitamin K thing. Not necessary. Totally harmful. That's what we will say from our perspective. We are not medical people. We are telling you from our perspective and our knowing, that is a truth. You are the most amazing beings in the way that you created your costumes for yourselves. You have created these extraordinary vehicles for you to seat yourselves in order to experience the realm that you created. So here's what we will say. Contemplate this, please. If you were going to experience yourself as source, and you decided to do so by creating an environment for you to walk upon for thousands of years in order to know yourself as source, would you have poisoned that environment with substances, bacterias, viruses that could kill off your physical costume if you were exposed to them? In other words, why would you create such a harmful environment for you to walk on in order for you to know yourself as source, and not arm yourself with a costume that could fight out or fight away all of those things coming at you? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? You created the Earth ship. The Earth ship is an energetic environment that supports your physical costume. It rejuvenates your costume. It heals your costume. It helps you change and shift your costume through what's here, okay? Both in the spaces that you can't see and the tangible spaces that you can taste, see, feel, smell, and hear. All of those things support the radiance of your body. It makes sense, okay? It just doesn't make sense that you would create a toxic environment for yourselves, okay? You created an immune system in the body that's amazing. Amazing, masters. Amazing. That's what we're going to tell you. Anything that ever appeared on this earth to cause an illness or a disease was created by the people living on the earth. It is not a natural aspect of the earthship itself. Think about that. Think about that. But here's the other cool thing. Your physical bodies can fight that stuff off. They had to compromise your immune systems in order for those things to truly harm you. If your immune systems were not compromised and your frequency was high, they couldn't touch you. Food for thought for all of you.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. By the way, a comment from Sony. Thank you for sharing. The moon a few nights ago was phenomenal. On the beach, even better. And with you and Julius, what a blast. Absolutely. You bet. Thank you so much. Let's go for another offline question. That one comes from Sarah. It's a little bit of a long one. All right. So the question is, Julius, you said they are creating the hurricanes to flood the tunnels to get rid of human child trafficking. But I don't understand who they is. And the contradiction, because it seems that higher consciousness beings would be the ones working to end human and child trafficking by flooding the tunnels. But lower consciousness beings would be the ones creating hurricanes because the hurricanes kill and injure people and do so much damage and destruction. When we pray for hurricanes to lessen intensity and be gone, then are we allowing for the continuation of human child trafficking?
Great question. Really great question. Thank you for pointing all of those things out. So here's there's a war going on, Masters. There's a war still going on. There's still a lot of nefarious things going on, still quite a lot. There's a war going on. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. Okay? Both sides have destructive apparatuses and things that can heal and repair. Both sides do. So you have ammunition being thrown at each other, quite a lot. When it comes to weather conditions and catastrophic conditions, they can't actually pinpoint anything because the Earthship is its own living and breathing essence, and it has a defense mechanism and an immune system. So if you throw something at it and try to manipulate it in a direction that it's not naturally flowing, it's going to fight and resist that action. So it's not fully predictable. Unfortunately, that means collateral damage. Collateral damage. The hurricanes are being created by the negative energies to cause destruction of evidence and to cause distraction away from something else that they're doing behind the scenes. The positive energies are working to deflect some of the damage factors from those things going on. They haven't been able to completely cancel them out. Flooding is taking place. That is the truth. That is the truth. But flooding can take place without all the catastrophe. Okay? So when they're initiating a flooding tactic, they have planned for it to be not very destructive at all. Then the negative energy people come in and are trying to reroute what's going on, and they throw a whole bunch of chaos on top of it. So just remember, there's a war going on. There's a war going on. And they're crossing timelines, Masters. They're going back and forth between what you would perceive to be a little bit of time ahead, a little bit of time over here, and a little bit of time over there. They're cross-pollinating weather in timelines, and there's a lot of chaos going on. We told you, and we've been telling you, that there's a lot of timeline switching going on, and that includes your environment. You guys aren't singularly being tossed around a stable environment. Environments exist in timelines too, right? Okay, so you're in a war zone. You are in a war zone. We hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. And somebody's actually asking a question about my beloved country of origin. Yes, the fluids and the rain in Spain recently were horrifying. Not long ago, actually, it was 2 weeks ago. Was this a planned tactic?
Yeah. Master, the Earthship is not a catastrophic place. She's not. She's paradise. You are not, the Earthship does not have these horrible conditions. They don't have famine anywhere. They don't have too much freezing anywhere. All of this has been created. All of this has been created. Before you set off atomic bombs, which brought the waters down, you lived in a terrarium setting. The whole Earthship, there wasn't water on the ground. It was all up in the atmosphere. So you lived in terrarium-like conditions. Do you know how controlled that is? Meaning it's a balanced system. It's a completely beautiful, balanced ecosystem. There aren't any dry spots and there aren't any super, super freezing spots. That's how it was here on this Earthship for hundreds of millions of years. Then when everybody started, quote unquote, messing with things, they started to try to mess with the timeline variations, and they started to use atomic fields through destructive red, yellow, and blue matter format, and they caused atomic bombs, which were used to destroy. And when they went off, the rain came down, the water dropped from the atmosphere and created a lot of the bodies of water on the ground. So that's when you started to get dry land versus wet land. And so you lost, or the Earthship lost, its completely controlled environmental conditions. But that was caused by the beings on the Earth, visiting the Earth. That isn't the natural state of the Earthship. She is very, very nurturing, very, very nurturing. And if it is allowed and created for all of this manipulation to stop, the world will thrive through farming, through food, through shelter, through beautiful living conditions, okay, through healthy conditions, through mindfulness. And so it has changed quite a lot. And the Earthship herself is not catastrophic. It's not. So when you see things that are catastrophic, you can now go back and go, there they go again, right? There they go again. And just like the beautiful person who sent in the comment earlier, you pray. You set out your beautiful, mindful intentions for no harm, for things to be calmer than they actually are. And it works, masters. It works because it's high frequency. But when you do it, don't judge the low frequency that has been occurring, because then you diminish your energy down to match theirs. Keep your energies high. Keep them high. That's where the beautiful transmutation takes place. So recognize that things are out of balance, and for the betterment of all sentient beings existing in and on the surface of this Earthship, so shall balance be reconciled, and you are sending out positive high frequency energy for that to occur. That keeps you from judging what is going on as a bad thing.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Robin Nasima is saying, wow, thank you, Julius. This is not common information about the past on Earth. I have only heard it before once from a past teacher. It confirms your wisdom is very high, at least to me. With pleasure. Absolutely. We know what we are dealing with and who we are dealing with, don't we, Kasey? Absolutely. And that was the last question of today's show. Our pleasure to be back with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to touch base again with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These Sunday evenings are awesome with you, as they are on Thursdays. Remember, this upcoming Thursday, we have at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have this amazing brain activation to activate the pineal and pituitary gland. Remember, reach out to support@channelingjulius.com. You have the email address here, support@channelingjulius.com. At the bottom of the page, request more information to that email address, or scan this QR code at the top left corner of your screen. It's been a pleasure to be here. Kasey, great to see you again. We can tell how re-energized and rejuvenated you are. Absolutely. And thank you, everybody that has been here. Also, as usual, asking questions and making comments. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for asking so many questions. We are thrilled to have you. Any final words, Kasey?
Yeah, I do have some final words. If you have a few moments, Angel, I would really love to speak on something really quickly, if I may. Okay.
Of course.
We have a dear student that's been with us for quite a while. She's amazing, as all of you are. She's a healer, and she's probably hands down one of the kindest and compassionate people that anybody would have the pleasure of meeting. She lost her daughter this weekend. Her daughter lost the battle of cancer that she had for a couple of years. Now, what makes this very, very personal for me and our team is, of course, this person is very near and dear, close to us. But I wanted to share this story really quickly, because not to sadden everybody, but to inspire everybody. Okay. So my daughter and this person's daughter were pregnant at the same time with my youngest grandchild. And her daughter found out she had cancer during her pregnancy, of all times, during her pregnancy. And she had to make a decision because the cancer was very radical. She had to start doing chemotherapy, okay, during her pregnancy. Obviously, this was very, very traumatic. We were all rooting for her, had the opportunity to work with her a little bit. My daughter offered up her breast milk to this person's infant when it was born, so that the baby could help recover from the chemotherapy and things like that her mother had. So we became, kind of very engaged and interested in this process. And her cancer was very challenging. And we knew that she was struggling. We were hoping for, the med beds to come out and things like that. This person, the student, almost came to the retreat this weekend. And at the last minute had the intuition to not come because her daughter was not doing well. Thank God she didn't come, right? We got the hit on Sunday night to check in on her on Monday morning. And in fact, her daughter had just passed an hour prior to me making that phone call to her. And she immediately went to speaking with her daughter. Now, what was cool was she actually literally held her daughter as she transitioned. And Julius advised her and talked to her and said, open up right now and call her. Tell her to talk to you. Tell her to show you things. Try now to keep yourself as best you can in as high a vibration possible, so this extraordinary collaboration can continue. And they have this wonderful collaboration. This very dear friend of ours will now assist in continuing to raise the grandchildren with the widow of her daughter. And it's an incredibly tragic thing, but Masters, we are not physical beings. We aren't. We're just having a physical experience. And everybody is going to experience transitional loss, quote unquote loss. And if everybody can learn to practice to reach beyond the physical for our connectiveness and be aware of those things, these things won't be quite as suffering and traumatic for us. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't all of you love to be able to help somebody else lessen that and lessen it yourself? So please extend yourselves into refining your gifts and your intuitiveness and these broader understandings, okay? Sending everybody so much love. This has been a very difficult year for so many people, and other years as well. And we want to jack up our energy, right? Let's help to get past some of these extraordinary emotional limitations. We want to send all of you so much love. We know that you've all experienced loss. We know that you've all experienced pain and suffering. We're going to get out of these things, out of these extreme limitations, and broaden our scope of our awareness. That's our goal. That's our goal, right? So sending everybody so much love. Come join us for the brain activation. We're going to help get you all jacked up. Sending this very personal friend of mine so much love. She knows who she is. Don't want to step over the boundaries and mention any names. And for any of you who are going through so much difficulty, we see you. We see you. And we hear you and we feel you. And we love you so much. Thank you for being with us every week. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. And I think that we've had the last 6-7 minutes very intense. Everybody was literally listening to this incredible story. Thank you for sharing it. It's amazing. It has touched my heart. I'm sure that it has touched the heart of the audience as well. So thank you so much for doing that. And obviously, we wish her all the best. And we know that obviously happened for a reason, and it's going to change her life forever. And I'm sure that she is also already aware of that. So thank you so much. And I'm still posting all the comments here. Thank you, everybody, and nice to see you again, Stephanie. Thank you for being on the chat as well. Thank you, Sony, for being so active today. It's been amazing. And again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Julius, and your group of entities. Thank you, Kasey. Thank you, production team. Thank you, Greg, for always being so active. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. And next week on Sunday, it's going to be again at 7 p.m. on Sunday, 7 p.m. on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, the 83rd Ask Julius Show. Thank you so much for being with us. I'll keep on posting these amazing comments here. And the outro video goes now. Remember, anything you want to tell us, go online, go to social media, YouTube, Facebook, or send emails to support at channelingjulius.com, support at channelingjulius.com. Kasey, as usual, my pleasure. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story. See you guys next week on Sunday. And don't forget, brain activation. Scan that QR code before it goes. Come on, do that now. See you soon. Bye-bye.